Alright, guys. So, I don't know if I've said this, but Donald Trump's a fucking actor. Alright? He's a puppet show. He's smoke and mirrors, ladies and gentlemen. He's something to distract us while the real establishment pushes the far-right agenda they've always wanted to push, but they've been too scared to do it. Trump gives the Republican Party plausible deniability because a decade from now, mark my words, you'll be hearing Republicans say, I never supported Trump. I never stood with Trump when Trump did X, Y, and Z, when he locked the kids in the cages, when he said that there were very fine people on both sides during Charlottesville. You know, I didn't agree with that. Mark my words, you are going to see that shit. You're going to see somebody like Ted Cruz come out saying, yeah, I never liked President Trump. So, all that is to say, Trump, with his weird tweets, his asinine behavior, and his general buffoonery, while it was entertaining for like the first fucking month he was in office, it's gotten very, very tired and very, very old now. I'm tired of having this fucking orange Cheeto as our president. I'm tired of this fucking child moron who has the mentality of a 5-year-old as our president. And that's honestly being too mean to 5-year-olds. There are many 5-year-olds I've met that have more reasonable, just have more logic and reason abilities than Donald Trump does. So this is the whole Sharpiegate shit. Sharpiegate is the newest of the gates, alright? It's like Russiagate, but for 2019. And this is the latest fucking thing to keep us all distracted. I see this all over the mainstream media about Sharpiegate, Sharpiegate. So I finally look up, what the fuck is Sharpiegate? Alright, what has Trump done now that has earned the attention of the national media? You know, they're not talking about the kids in cages. They're not talking about the fact that Donald Trump almost got us in a nuclear war with North Korea a few years ago. They're talking about Sharpiegate. They're talking about fucking Sharpiegate. So this is from Vox by Emily Stewart, published today. And it says, Vice President Mike Pence engaged in some questionable patronage of a Trump property while traveling abroad. The administration shuffled millions away from a key government project, including Puerto Rico recovery. Once again, Trump doesn't give a flying fuck about Puerto Rico. He probably thinks it's a different country. He's so fucking stupid. He probably thinks Puerto Rico is a different country. It's not even a U.S. territory. Like, he probably doesn't understand that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. But they shuffled millions away from Puerto Rico recovery to pay for President Trump's stupid fucking wall, and things got real weird with Brexit. But all U.S. media could do this week was talk about a fucking Sharpie altered map of Hurricane Dorian to prove a Trump tweet about Alabama. We're looking at you, CNN, who played right along with Trump in the distraction game. This is what I'm talking about, people. It's a distraction. Trump is a distraction. That's why I don't focus on Trump very much on this channel, because it's not fucking worth my time. Trump is going to do stupid fucking things. It's almost like you can have a daily fucking tally of dumb fucking things Trump has done today. It's not worth it. It's not worth following the gates anymore. Alright? We are all so distracted by Sharpiegate and Russiagate and all the other gates that we refuse to see the right-wing agenda is being passed in this country without any resistance at all, because we're all so distracted about Russia, 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 and now we're distracted about the fucking Sharpies. The American people have the attention span of like a fucking Doberman Pinscher, alright? We've got the attention span of a goldfish. We can't fucking keep our mind on a single task. Alright? We're so busy focusing on Trump's stupid tweet today that we forget all about yesterday's controversy, which is often far worse. The stuff going on behind the scenes, behind the curtain, is so much worse than this Sharpie shit. I don't give a flying fuck about this doctored map of Hurricane Dorian, because you can watch the official weather reports and get a more accurate hour-by-hour update of this hurricane. You don't need to see this fucking map. If you live in the Panhandle and you see this map, you're probably freaking out thinking, oh, I'm in the hurricane's path. But that's about it. You check the official website, and yeah, you won't fucking see this little Sharpie area. So to back up a bit, this all began on Sunday when the president tweeted a warning about Hurricane Dorian and said that in addition to Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama will most likely be hit much harder than anticipated by the storm. Apparently he was wrong about Alabama, and the Birmingham National Weather Service quickly corrected him. It all could have ended there, but of course it didn't. On Wednesday, weather reporters and other experts noticed that it looked like someone had drawn a little extra bubble onto a map of the path of the storm in a video of Trump talking about it. People started to wonder whether Trump or someone else had used a Sharpie pen, which the president is known to use to doctor the map so that it looked like he had been right. Hashtag Sharpiegate was born. Is this really that important? Is this really more important than the Puerto Rico Recovery Fund being shuffled away to pay for the border wall? Is this really a bigger story than Mike Pence patronizing Trump's property while traveling abroad? Is this really a bigger story than that? A fucking Sharpie on a piece of paper is a bigger story than the dismantling of our democracy, than the completely fucking over of the Puerto Rican people. The fact that our government is corrupt as fuck. But no, a fucking Sharpie on a map is a bigger story. On Wednesday, Sharpiegate was born. We still don't know who doctored the map or if it was indeed doctored, but who cares? We all could have moved on, but again, we did not. Instead, the president kept insisting he was right on Alabama, and the agitators kept egging him on. The media covered news about the border wall funding, Pence's visit to Trump's property, and other big stories this week, but it also kept returning to the Alabama issues. It was one of the main stories CNN covered all of Thursday. I was tuning in to MSNBC when I fucking saw this story. And I was like, why is this a fucking story? Newsflash, everybody, Donald Trump's a fucking idiot. I think we're all pretty much fucking aware of that by now. We don't need 24/7 news coverage showing us how much of a fucking moron Donald Trump is. It's self-evident. It's evident to anybody with a brain that Donald Trump's a fucking moron. Where is the controversy here? The ordeal in part highlights the president's penchant for lying and his refusal to let even the most trivial items go. Yeah, it's because he's a fucking narcissist and he can never be wrong. Because being wrong makes him look weak, and he can't afford to look weak. This is the Trump dynamic here. He's probably has like a fucking micro penis, and he's very insecure about it, and so he just has to be right about everything. He has to be the big guy. He's got to have the big money, the big bucks, the big building with his name plastered all over it, all the brands with his name plastered all over it, and of course he has to have the presidency. He demands respect, but he needs respect. He needs respect because he doesn't fucking respect himself. He places his entire value in the opinion that other people give about him. He's like a living Patrick Bateman almost. But this is also emblematic of the way he's covered by the media and how outlets such as CNN lean into their antagonism of the White House. The back and forth went as far as the outlet's Twitter account responding to the White House press secretary Stephanie Grisham's tweet, noting they'd screwed up an on-screen map that labeled Alabama as Mississippi. Hi CNN, I know you guys are busy analyzing lines on a map, but perhaps you could use your time to study up on US geography. Says, thanks Stephanie, yes, we made a mistake. We fixed in less than 30 seconds, and now we are admitting it. You all should try it sometime. I mean, okay. I'm glad to see the media finally just has enough with the fucking White House and the press secretary of the White House. It's about time the fucking liberal media started punching back at Trump. But yeah, that being said, fuck CNN. They're useless. They are establishment as fuck, and the only criticisms they'll really level at Trump is stuff so shallow and hollow that it won't have any fucking effect. They go on and on and on about Russia, 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 and what came out of the whole Russiagate controversy? Fucking nothing. We came out with our dick in our hands. Absolutely nothing else happened. Alright? Trump wasn't impeached. Right? We didn't get the trial that we all thought we were gonna get. I don't know about you guys, but I thought Trump was being geared up for an impeachment proceeding to be brought against him. But of course that never fucking happened, because why would the FBI, why would the feds want to impeach a president that is helping them pass all of the agendas that they want to do? So, Hurricanes Dorian's path and whether it was headed to Alabama. As Politico explains, the National Hurricane Center never offered up a concrete prediction that Hurricane Dorian would hit Alabama, but it gave it small odds of getting tropical storm winds, and computer models suggested it might wind up in the Gulf of Mexico, which would affect Alabama. But at this point, getting into the timeline of the different predictions does not matter. The hurricane didn't go to Alabama, and the people there are safe. It's probably been a really confusing week. So Vox says Trump made this bad, CNN made it worse. And that's pretty much follows for any kind of Trump-related controversy. Trump says something stupid, and then the mainstream media covers it ad nauseum for the next fucking week, 24/7, and that's all we fucking hear about. Stormy Daniels, Stormy Daniels, Stormy Daniels. We hear about, and now the Sharpie thing. Like, this is useless. It's distraction. It's like those people who read the celebrity gossip magazines. It's just useless information that doesn't change a flying fucking thing about anything. So what is the point? What is the point in CNN covering this Sharpiegate shit? It's not like Trump is only doing that. It's not like Trump isn't doing some really shady crap that the mainstream media should be covering. How about you cover the border crisis? How about you cover the fact that people need healthcare coverage in this country? How about you cover the fact that my whole generation is getting a shit ton in debt because we have to pay to go to school, and we have to pay out the ass. There's some real issues plaguing this fucking country, and the Sharpie thing should be so low on the priority list to cover it. But we see how the mainstream media keeps us all distracted from the real issues and only pushes the most banal and fucking boring of topics. No one gives a flying fuck about the Sharpie. No one gives a fuck. Alright? Donald Trump's an idiot. Fucking hallelujah. You discovered a discovery that I knew about years and years ago, even before the election. I fucking hated Donald Trump and I knew he was a fucking idiot. Like, does it really take 24/7 national news coverage to let the good people know that Donald Trump's a fucking moron? The president does not like being wrong, so he spent a lot of the week insisting that he's right about Hurricane Dorian and Alabama. He's fired off multiple tweets about the matter, and at an event Wednesday about opioid grants, when asked about it by a reporter, he said he was confident Alabama had been in the original forecast. Alabama was hit, if not lightly, in some cases pretty hard, he said. Georgia, Alabama, it was a different route. They actually gave it a 95% change probability. Alright, so he said, in the early days of the hurricane, when it was predicted that Dorian would go through Miami or West Palm Beach, even before it reached the Bahamas, certain models strongly suggested that Alabama and Georgia would be hit as it made its way through Florida and to the Gulf. Instead, it turned north and went up the coast, where it continues now. The one model through Florida, the great state of Alabama, would have been hit or grazed. In the path it took, no. Read my full FEMA statement. What I said was accurate. All fake news in order to demean. Alright. So it says, on Thursday, the White House went as far as to release a statement from Rear Admiral Peter J. Brown, Trump's Homeland Security and Counterterrorism advisor, saying Alabama had been in the path of the storm. Dude, no one fucking cares. Because guess what? Alabama wasn't hit by the storm. So, do I think that Trump is a moron? Yeah, absolutely. But the forecast changes, alright? There's nothing wrong, and now I'm defending Trump, so I feel really fucking weird. But there's nothing wrong with the president saying, yeah, early models are predicting the hurricane might make landfall in Alabama or might be grazed. Alabama might get grazed by the hurricane. So there's nothing wrong with him saying that, watch out. Trump's insistence that he was right and Sharpiegate should have been a 5-minute story. And that's all it should have been. It should have been a 5-minute story. I shouldn't have had to make a fucking video on this, but I feel like this is just a perfect symbol, a perfect example of what I'm trying to say about Donald Trump, is that he is a distraction. He's a fucking puppet show. Alright, Donald Trump is a puppet being pulled by the far-right establishment, and they are using Trump as a shield. So if all of this far-right agenda that he passes during this administration goes bad, if things go bad, then a decade from now, all the right-wingers can come out and say, oh yeah, we never agreed with Trump, we never liked Trump, we throw Trump under the bus. That's all this is. Trump is a useful patsy for the far right to pass the agenda they've been wanting to pass for a very long time, but they weren't willing to take the political hits required to do the hateful shit that Donald Trump's doing. Ted Cruz didn't have the balls to put brown kids in concentration camps because Ted Cruz is a career politician and he actually cares about his re-electability. Donald Trump was just trying to put his brand out there. And he said all this populist, racist bullshit, and he just so happened to win the presidency. Trump's insistence that he was right and Sharpiegate should have been a 5-minute story, but it wasn't. CNN and other media outlets kept it going. They know Trump is watching, and it's like an interactive Trump feud. Alright, CNN has covered the storm, including the damage it's done in the Bahamas, and is now doing in United States that aren't Alabama. But it's also spent a lot of airtime on Trump's weird lie. As mentioned, its Twitter account even offered up a snarky response to the White House press secretary on Twitter. CNN at Chris Cuomo, we're living in strange times. We've got a hurricane and the president is fighting with the media. About a dozen times since Sunday, the president has insisted he was right about Dorian heading towards Alabama. It isn't and never was in any real way. CNN tonight says, unlike the lies about his crowd size or hand size, this is a lie that has consequences for people in their day-to-day lives, so it's really shocking, says former NOAA General Counsel Monica Medina on President Trump's erroneous insistence that Dorian was headed towards Alabama. To be sure, CNN isn't the only outlet covering Sharpiegate. Everyone is, us included. And I guess I'm included now. God damn it, I'm a sheep. I'm a fucking sheep. I've played right into what the establishment wants. I'm getting too distracted by all this Sharpie crap, and I'm ignoring the real garbage that Trump is doing. Watch my video I made yesterday about the OIC and their report on just how horrible these kids are doing in these camps. There are kids that are going around in these camps saying, my chest hurts, my heart hurts. And it's because they're having panic attacks. They're anxious as fuck. They're being kept in cages. They don't know when their parents are going to come home, if they're ever going to see their parents again. Some of the kids don't know why they're there, and they think their parents have been taken away to be killed, and that they're next. Alright. This is real shit that is happening in the United States. Instead of talking about this, fucking CNN and MSNBC, they just give a shit about the Sharpies. Now screw all these kids in cages suffering. Tell us more about the Sharpies. What a weird hill to die on. They don't die on the hill about the kids being in the concentration camps. They don't die on the hill where Trump said there were fine people on both sides during the Charlottesville fiasco. They only give a shit when it's the Sharpies. Alright, Sharpies. That's what CNN cares about. Not brown kids. Sharpies. CNN and other broadcasters, including MSNBC and Fox News, are part of what helped Trump's political career take off in the first place. Thank you, mainstream media, for giving Trump all the attention that he needed, the free publicity. They showed his rallies for hours and let him play by rules no other candidate did, but perhaps more than any other media outlet, CNN has really cultivated a brand of antagonism towards Trump. The outlet knows he's watching and they know he'll often play along. Journalist Jim Acosta has repeatedly clashed with the White House and officials at press conferences while asking difficult questions. At one point, his White House press pass was revoked after a confrontation with the president at a news conference. Trump regularly tweets complaints that CNN and other outlets are fake news and reacts to stories in real time, or when it's on his TiVo. He knows Acosta and the other on-air personalities, including Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo, by name. CNN executives have not been shy about their feuds with Trump being good for business. In 2017, CNN International Chief Tony Maddox said the outlet's performance, quote, has been enhanced during this news period, and now we've chosen to cover it. So you see right here, Trump and the mainstream media have a symbiotic relationship. They feed off of each other. Trump says something stupid or does something stupid, the media covers it ad nauseum. Trump comes out saying it's fake news, fake news, fake news, and the drama repeats. It's a vicious cycle and it keeps going. In other words, CNN's animosity towards Trump is making it money. So this Sharpie shit is all about the money. On Thursday, Lemon defended the network's coverage of Sharpiegate and the Alabama hurricane controversy and acknowledged that the president's apologists say it's petty. Dude, I am about as far away from a Donald Trump apologist as you can get, and I say it's petty. There's literally billions of more topics that are more important than this shit. He says, this is the president of the United States, and if you can't trust what's coming out of the president of the United States' mouth, then where are we? Who are we, especially as journalists? Did that honestly come out of your fucking mouth and you thought that that was like a profound statement? Clutching your pearls at how dishonest the office of the presidency is? Where were you during the Nixon administration? Hello? The office of the presidency has always lied to the American people. Always, always, always. Find a president since World War II that hasn't lied to the American people. Find a president in general that hasn't lied to the American people. It's fucking hard. He said it's true that it's bad that the president is lying. It's odd he keeps insisting on the lie, but the president lies a lot and does plenty of bad things we could focus on that are not this. Instead of talking about, for instance, the fact that the vice president is wasting thousands of taxpayer dollars to stay at a Trump-owned property in Ireland, we're still talking about Trump in Alabama. And as long as Trump keeps seeing coverage of it on television, he appears determined to keep tweeting about it. On Friday, he demanded the media apologize for its coverage of the ordeal on Twitter. He says, the fake news media was fixated on the fact that I properly said at the beginnings of Hurricane Dorian that in addition to Florida and other states, Alabama may also be grazed or hit. They went crazy, hoping against hope that I made a mistake, which I didn't. Check out maps. This nonsense has never happened to another president. 4 days of corrupt reporting, still without an apology. But there are many things the fake news media has not apologized for me for, like the witch hunt or Spygate. The lamestream media and their Democrat blah 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 partner should start playing it straight. It would be so much better for our country. Alright, so let's talk about this. This nonsense has never happened to another president. Well, we haven't had another president that just blatantly denies reality the same way that you do, Donald Trump. You're a unique fucking specimen. I think your oatmeal brain is helping you in the fact that you can see something in real life and then just completely deny it, because in your weird little galaxy, in the Donald Trump universe, it's not the same as what happens in reality. You live in your own little world, Donald Trump, and it's a scary world. It's a world where everybody's conspiring against you. A witch hunt. I assume with that he means the whole Russia investigation, which did turn up quite a bit of evidence that made Donald Trump look very fucking bad, by the way. Very impeachable shit. But yeah, to rely on the FBI to prosecute him, to rely on the government to hold the government to task, fucking laughable. Good job calling them the mainstream media. Like 2002 called, they want their term for the mainstream media back. That's like such an Alex Jones boomer statement. Fucking hilarious. Between Trump's insistence on it and the media's coverage of it, Sharpiegate has been absurd, but at least it's delivered some good memes and tweets. So, I mean, Trump's some Sharpie drawings of the fucking border wall, Sharpie drawings of, like, his election day turnout, inauguration day turnout, rather, Sharpie drawing of him with abs. Like, that's, you know, funny. I mean, these are just some fucking shit memes right here, but they're kind of funny, I guess. Anyway, that was Sharpiegate. Trump is a fucking dog and pony show. He's just made to be a distraction while the real assholes in the establishment and the government pass the real agenda. The tax breaks for the rich, the cutting of the regulations, the completely gutting of our government systems like the EPA and the FDA, the Food Drug Administration. The complete dismantling of any positive achievements Obama gave us, like Obamacare and stuff like that. There's so much more to focus on. There's so much more that the mainstream media could hold Trump's ass to the fire for, and actually serves a purpose. This whole Sharpie shit serves absolutely zero purpose but to distract the American people. Alright, obstruct them from viewing real news, and to make CNN more of that sweet, sweet moolah. It's all about capitalism, folks, and it's all about making the moolah. This is why you can't trust the mainstream media. They care more about making the big bucks than they care about actually giving us information, actually presenting the truth. They would cover this Sharpie shit until Donald Trump is dead in the grave if they could. If they could make the money off of it, you best believe they would be covering this Sharpie shit for the rest of time. Disgusting. Fuck the Sharpies. Fuck this whole controversy. Alright? I'm not defending Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a fucking idiot. But CNN are just as guilty of perpetuating this drama, this non-existent drama. Alright? The mainstream media is responsible for Trump just as much as Trump is, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck CNN. Fuck MSNBC. Fuck any news outlet that covers this fucking shit story instead of the real issues.